This is so exciting. The etymology of Levant, which equals Jesus. Okay, so I'm on the Wikipedia page for Levant, which equals Jesus. This is the coolest treasure hunt of all time. So the term Levant, which appeared in English, by the way, English equals Jesus and Levant equals Jesus. So you're already like, what's going to happen next? The term Levant, which appeared in English in 1497. This is a long word. It's a lot older than I am, and you. The term Levant, which appeared in English in 1497, originally meant the East in general, or Mediterranean lands east of Italy. It is borrowed from the French Levant, which means rising, referring to the rising of the sun in the east. And we talked about how that is perfect for Jesus, of course, or the point where the sun rises. Remember, point equals Jesus. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I just felt led to find Jesus in the sun, and you just pop off the HE, and there's your there's your US, and then the TN makes the front of Jesus. We walked. If you didn't watch the video on this channel where we proved in detail that the Earth goes to Father, the sun in the sky goes to Jesus the Son, and the moon goes to the Holy Ghost. Okay? The Holy Trinity, the three most visible bodies, okay, for signs and seasons in our universe, in the story of God. Isn't that touching, though, that the earth goes to Father, even though the sun is way bigger than the earth? Mathematically, in Gematria, the earth, and even in the creation story, Genesis tells us that the earth existed before the sun and the moon. Okay, whatever comes first is greatest. So the earth goes to Father. Father gets the word earth. The word earth equals heart. Peace in the earth only happens through peace in the heart. Peace in the hearts of men receiving Jesus Christ now allows peace in the earth. So, and it's so many deep things with heart in the earth. Jesus, the Son of Man, spent 3 days in the heart of the earth. It's like, okay, so earth goes to Father, sun goes to Son, Jesus, and then moon goes to Holy Ghost. Okay, so, and we proved it in detail using Gematria in a previous video. But so now we're just scooping up this term Levant, the rising of the sun in the east, the point where the sun rises. I personally believe that the timing of Jesus, when he actually rose, like the ultimate film director, like when he actually lifted his head off the tombstone and ultimately exited the dark tomb into the daylight, it would have been timed perfectly to the millisecond, with like the first pinpoint of light that peeked over the horizon right where the tomb was located. Like, his timing was impeccable, so that all the angels watching and all the angelic historians recording with their video cameras were like, he's right on cue again. It was like, so Jesus literally, like, you know, maybe he, like, opened his eyes, lifted his head, you know, walked out of the tomb door right when the first pinpoint of sunlight was just breaking over the horizon. And he just woke up and the sun just pierced his eyes, and he was just like, right on cue, you know, dusted off his shoulders, you know. And the angels were like, yes, he did it again. Good job. Jesus doesn't need any editing. Jesus never needed any editing. Jesus never needed any second takes like the modern actors do. The life of Jesus as he walked on earth, he was perfect. Every glance was perfect. Every bat of the eye was perfect. Every speck of lighting, the whole universe was in his control. The lighting for every scene that Jesus was in was perfect. The temperature was perfect. Everything that was supposed to be the way that it was for his maximum pleasure and glory was exactly the way that it was. So I say when Jesus came out of the tomb, I believe it was something perfect. Like, it was literally the very definition of sunrise at that physical position in the universe. Like, Jesus looked up from the tomb and bang, there's this perfect tiny pinpoint of sunlight just piercing the horizon. He's like, I'm right on cue. Okay. You must preach the perfection of Jesus. You must preach the impeccable, 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 impeccable perfection of Jesus. Now, I'm almost tempted to use the word impeccable, implacable Jesus. Implacable means relentless and unstoppable. Okay, and that word equals Jesus. So you can string these cluster bombs together and say, the impeccable, implacable Jesus. And people will just be like, that sounded righteous. I don't know why, but it is. It's mathematically. So the impeccable, implacable Jesus. And they'll just be like, oh yeah, I felt that one. Okay, so the impeccable, implacable Jesus. Sing it to me. All right. So here we are. The Levant, also known as the Jesus, the land of the rising sun. There's medals with this stuff printed on it. I'm staring at Wikipedia. This goes back 500 years. Okay, the phrase is ultimately from the Latin word levere, meaning to lift or to raise. Sounds like Jesus rising from the dead. Wow, in German, wow. Morgenland, morning land. Makes you want to go to Israel. Hebrew, Mizrah, most notably Orient, and its Latin source meaning east, and is literally rising. So literally the word rise, deriving from Latin. So now this wow, this is such an old term. So now the English Levant Company, now this is amazing because English equals Jesus equals Levant, was founded in 1581 to trade with the Ottoman Empire. Wow. Wonderful. So I'm just going to poke into the Levant Company. Basically, it sounds like the trading company that was, positioned in the Levant. See what I'm talking about, naming your children to be pioneers? The founders of this company, their first names all parallel father. Edward, Thomas, and William. Huge, kingpin English names in history of pioneers. Just like myself, Derek. Yeah, and I'm just telling you what it is. My name parallels pioneer perfectly. That's the way it is. God is sovereign, and this video is rolling for His glory. The company remained in continuous existence until being superseded. And wow, this company lasted until 1827. Wow. And the charter was approved by Elizabeth I of England. Elizabeth parallels father. So, if you want your children to be pioneers and leaders, you need to give them first names that mathematically parallel father. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you, I would not say anything but the truth. So help me God. Like, do the thousands of hours of study that I've done in history and prayer and all the rest of it. Man, so the Levant Company is massive. This is huge. This is like one of the first large companies in the English Empire. I mean, it got a royal warrant. I'll have to read up on this later. Man, it owned... Whoa, this was like the biggest company in English history, practically. Ships owned by the Levant Company from 1581 to 1640. And there's every one of them has a name, and they're all for the glory of God. I noticed there's a lot of them named William, which parallels father, several Thomas, which is father, Rainbow, which is father, one named Jesus, which is appropriate because Jesus equals English equals Levant. Elizabeth is in the house. Anne is in the house. Father names. I'm telling you. London is in the house, which equals Jesus. I'm telling you, you got to name your children perfectly. You got to name your children as high as you possibly can. If you want God to take them as high as He possibly will. Governors of the Levant Company. Wow. This is huge. Shipping numbers. Crazy, man. It at its peak, man, it was... So what were they trading? Obviously food. Of some sort, usually. What were were they trading? Yeah, just goods of the region, I guess. I've always loved the word treaty. Treaty pearls, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, merchant goes to father. So I guess just the general, it was like the general store merchandise of the day for 300 years. So anything, just, clothing, food. Wow. Alright, so there you go. Big Jesus gem there with the word Levant. Okay. Alright, we're going to keep going, and then landmark equals Jesus, and it just keeps coming.